Picture the most boring building you have ever driven past. A long, low row of metal boxes behind a chain-link fence. No windows, no staff you can see, no product in the shop, because there is no shop. Just doors, concrete, and silence. Now here's the strange part. That dull row of metal boxes is one of the highest margin, most recession-proof businesses in all of real estate. It quietly out-earns fancy office towers and shiny shopping malls. And the reason has almost nothing to do with storage. It has to do with what happens inside your own head the moment your stuff goes into that box. This is the economics of owning a self-storage facility. And once you see it, you will never look at that boring metal shed the same way again. Let's start with the first reason it works, and it is the simplest one. A self-storage facility barely costs anything to run. Think about what a normal business has to pay for. Staff, inventory, heating and cooling, lighting, constant restocking, expensive equipment. Now look at a storage facility. There is no inventory to buy because you are selling empty air. There is often almost no staff, sometimes a single part-time manager, sometimes nobody at all, just a keypad and an app. The units do not need heating or air conditioning because nobody lives in a metal box. There is very little to maintain beyond a coat of paint and a working gate. So once the facility is built in full, it becomes a machine that turns cheap land into rent with almost nothing leaking out along the way. This is why the numbers are so extraordinary. A typical facility runs net operating margins of 40 to 60%, and the biggest, best-run operators do far better. The largest storage company in the world recently posted a net operating income margin above 74%. Read that again. For every dollar that comes in, more than 70 cents is profit. There are almost no ordinary businesses on earth that look like that. And it gets better because of a quiet rule of the business. Once a facility is past about 85% full, the fixed costs are already covered. So nearly every extra dollar of rent after that flows straight to the bottom line. A full storage facility is close to a money printing machine sitting behind a chain-link fence. But low cost alone is not the real secret. The real genius, the thing that makes this business quietly ruthless, is the second engine. It is built entirely on human inertia. Here is how it works. You need to store some things, so you look up a local unit, and the price is wonderfully cheap. A 10 by 10 unit for, say, $50 a month. That feels like nothing. So you sign up, you load it with your boxes, you snap the padlock shut, and you drive away feeling organized. That $50 price has a name in the industry. It is a teaser rate. It exists to get your stuff through the door. Because here is what happens next. A few months later, your rent goes up. Then it goes up again. In some cases, that $50 unit can double in as little as 3 months and keep climbing from there. And what do you do about it? Almost certainly nothing. Because to escape the rent increase, you would have to take a day off, rent a truck, drive across town, haul out every heavy box, and find somewhere else to put it all. Against that misery, an extra $15 or $20 a month feels like the easier choice. So you pay it, and you keep paying it. That is the whole model. The operator is not really betting you value your stuff. They are betting you will not bother to move it. Your own laziness and the sheer hassle of hauling boxes becomes their pricing power. The industry even runs this on purpose, holding the advertised rates low to lure new customers while pushing steady, aggressive increases onto everyone already inside. Once your things are in the box, you are no longer a customer they have to win. You are a customer they can quietly squeeze. Put some numbers on it. You move in at $50. 6 months later, you are paying $70. A year in, $90. 2 years in, well over $100 for the exact same empty box you started with. You never agreed to a big jump because there never was one. It came in small, painless steps, each one too minor to be worth a Saturday and a rented truck. That is the quiet brilliance of it. Nobody rebels against $15, but stack enough 15s on a captive customer and a $50 unit becomes a $200 unit. And the customer barely notices the water getting warmer. And now comes the third engine, and it is almost poetic. People pay for years to store things they will never use again. Think about what actually ends up in these units. Old furniture, boxes never opened since the last move. Exercise equipment, a dead relative's belongings nobody can face sorting, stuff from a divorce, stuff from a downsizing, stuff that simply would not fit. Most of it is worth far less than what the owner will pay to store it. Do that math for a second because it is genuinely absurd. Say you pay $100 a month for 3 years. That is over $3,600. And what is in the unit? An old couch, some boxes of clothes, a treadmill you will never use again, maybe $400 of stuff you could honestly replace on a single afternoon. You have paid 9 times the value of your own belongings to avoid the discomfort of dealing with them. People routinely do exactly this because throwing it away feels like admitting a loss, and each monthly fee feels too small to worry about. The storage owner is, in effect, being paid rent on your inability to let go. And this is what makes the business almost magically stable. It works in good times and bad. When the economy is booming, people buy more things than their homes can hold, and they need somewhere to put the overflow. When the economy crashes, people downsize, move, divorce, and lose homes, and they need somewhere to put what is left. The demand drivers even have a grim nickname in the trade: the 4 Ds: death, divorce, dislocation, and downsizing. Whatever is happening in the world, something is always filling those boxes. This is why self-storage sailed through recessions that flattened other kinds of real estate. So step back and look at the whole machine. Almost no operating cost. Rent that quietly rises on a captive, unbothered customer. Demand that never really stops. And here is the final piece, the one investors love most. Because costs are so low, every extra dollar of rent is almost pure profit. And in real estate, profit is what sets the value of the building. Remember the apartment trick, where value equals income divided by the cap rate? The same magic runs here, and it is brutal. At a typical rate, cutting a facility's yearly costs by just $50,000, or squeezing $50,000 more in rent out of those steady increases, does not add $50,000 to the value. It can add roughly $800,000 to what the whole facility is worth. That is why owners are so relentless about nudging rents and trimming costs. Every small win is multiplied many times over into the price of the building itself. On top of the rent, operators stack high-margin extras, a required insurance or protection plan, an admin fee to sign up, late fees, even selling you the padlock on the way in. Each one is small. Each one is nearly pure profit. That combination is exactly why the giants moved in. A handful of enormous companies have rolled up thousands of these facilities into vast publicly traded empires, keeping their sites more than 90% full while holding advertised rates low and steadily lifting rent on everyone already inside. They industrialize the metal box, precisely because an asset that prints cash with almost no effort is one of the most beautiful things in all of investing. So who really profits from a self-storage facility? The owner, almost entirely and with less effort than nearly any business we have covered. No staff to speak of, no product, no drama. Just a fence, a gate, and a slow, steady river of rent flowing in from people who signed up for a cheap teaser rate and then quietly kept paying as it climbed. And who pays? The customer, who came in to solve a small problem and ended up renting a metal box for years, spending far more than the stuff inside was ever worth, held in place not by value but by the sheer hassle of leaving. So should you want to own one? As a business, it is genuinely one of the best risk-adjusted plays in real estate. Low cost, high margin, recession resistant, and unlike an airport or a sports team, actually within reach of a normal investor. A single modest facility is far cheaper to buy or build than an apartment block, and it runs with a fraction of the headache. The main danger is other people noticing how good it is. When too many facilities get built in one town, they all sit half empty and the magic breaks. Location and local supply are everything. Worth owning? As a quiet, high-margin, low-effort cash machine, a strong 8.5 out of 10. One of the rare businesses that is both boring and brilliant. And that is the real lesson hiding behind the chain-link fence. You are not really paying for space. Space is cheap. You are paying because moving your stuff is harder than paying the bill, and an entire multi-billion-dollar industry has been quietly built on the fact that you will almost always choose to pay. I'm Mogul Math. Pick a business. We'll do the math.